Okay, good evening and welcome to the Norwood Trails Advisory Committee meeting of Tuesday, August 27th, 2019. If you can believe it's August 27th, then it is. We're here in Norwood Town Hall. We have available seats. We have coverage tonight, as usual, by the Norwood Record and Norwood Community Media, so thank you both. All of our meetings are posted meetings. We do take it minutes, and as of last week, the minutes and the agendas are all posted on the new swanky new town website. So without which we'll get to, but not to ruin the surprise. We'll take attendance by way of roll call. Craig, if you don't mind.
All right, Craig Austin.
Ernie Pachkowski.
Marguerite Krupp.
Lee Leach.
Sue Bartlett.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm Joe Greeley. We do have, we're going to roll through this agenda. We've pretty much the two priorities that we want to focus on tonight are Norwood Day and our electronic presence, I guess I'll call it. That's a combined trail maps and brochures that we circulated last week. Craig and Fran especially, congratulations and thank you. And then secondarily, but related, is our new town webpage. So we'll just go rock and roll right through the agenda items here. John Priya took meeting minutes from August 13th. John's unable to join us. So tonight, the people who aren't able to join us, John Priya, Vic Babel, Brian Palmetier, Greg Mills, and Fran Rush. I think that's about it. Yep.
Jerry.
And Jerry, I'm
Jerry.
sorry. Sorry, Jerry. Jerry Miller. If I were to be able to look at that list, I would see that we are listed on that. So we do have minutes, and John had circulated the copies. Anybody have any?
Yes, there's
Comments?
one correction
Okay.
under advisories, members' minutes. It's the Cleveland School, down at the bottom, under my name. Cleveland School, not the Coakley Middle School,
Okay, good.
because there is no grade 5 at Coakley.
Gotcha. Okay, good. Thank you. Duly noted. We'll update the minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just a point of note, should somewhere on this John's name appears submitted
Yep.
by John.
Yep. Okay, we'll make those two changes. Thank you. Further comments, questions? I'll hear a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Thank you. All those in favor? All
Aye.
those opposed? Unanimous? Thank you. Moving right along, visitors and updates. The only updates we don't have any visitors, other than folks in the room who are always welcome. We do have room for more visitors. So we'll just go right into the updates. Completed walk. We did schedule, I don't have the date in front of me, but I believe it's the 15th. We were going to try to coordinate that with,
Right,
right? So I had
tentatively scheduled for 9:15.
9:15. So I have not got a confirmation back from the Walpole Trails group. But the intent on September 15th is we're going to start off at somewhere near the Endine on our side of the border, and then make the big leap into Walpole and travel across to the area down by East Walpole, by their version of the Endine and behind the bird estate. So the date, we didn't arrive at a time. We were going to leave that open given the coordination with the Walpole Trails group, but we're talking about the 15th. So further info to follow.
TBA on the day, on the time,
Yes.
and start is probably that parking lot at the Little League.
Yep. Yes. Yep. And that'll be open to the public. We'll advise. That'll be after Norwood Day, so we will advertise that
At Norwood.
at Norwood Day.
Okay.
we do try to make our walks, at least make the community aware of our walks, and they're always available and open to the public to join us. And more on that later. Active subcommittees, Craig, you wanna give us an update on our?
On maps?
Maps, sure, please.
I would say, do we have them posted now? Or that's the town-wide one, okay.
So we have, but if you go back to that page. And under documents.
Like I say, this is all new to me, so
Yep.
I know we've, Friend's been incorporating, or developing the trail maps. We were soliciting any comments for change. And I assume Fran got some notes and incorporated them. And we have four trails, four maps for Ellis Pond, Endine, Shattuck, and Hennessy. So that's nice, that they're on the website already, that's great.
Yeah, we met with, we'll talk about it later. But if you can, so if we just focus on this one, this is Endine just as an example, but we did talk about these briefly at our last meeting, but do you wanna go back up to the first page and just, if you just walk us through briefly again, what's on the front and the back?
Sure.
And what we're thinking with these brochures?
So these brochures, last year we had sets of maps for each of those locations. In fact, the one had 2 or 3 maps all at once, and then I think Endine had its own. So, but Norwood's had a brochure for Endine for a long time, and it was time to update, but it wasn't ready at Norwood Day last year. This brochure is the intended replacement, and it has the name of the park on one panel. It's a trifold, so one side has text and introduces the park on Endine Park on the left. There's information about where the park is, some general rules and etiquette that really apply to all parks, and then about Norwood Trails. That's on all the brochures. So that's side 1. Side 2 has the map itself for Endine in particular. For this one, Hennessy would have its own, Shattuck would have its own. And we tried to keep them simple, fairly consistent, and that's still a challenge because the parks are of different sizes. I think we did pretty good this round. And there are, I think this accurately portrays, Endine, I managed to walk back in the woodsy pasture area and redefine the trails there. I think they much more accurately show the trails in that portion. There are a couple of trails that were marked in the old brochure that are definitely don't exist today. Everything's grown in. I can't even tell where the trail went.
Wow.
So I think this is acceptable, and invite people to now download and try them out.
Great.
And the URL is norwoodma.gov/document_center.
Actually, I get there. So,
Yeah.
under government, there's committees and boards.
Okay.
When you go there, we are down by the T's.
Almost alphabetical.
Under our advisory committee menu.
Well, that's great. These, the maps look great. They're, thank you. Craig and Fran especially have been working long and hard hours on this one, so thank you very much.
Endine could still use a couple tweaks, but I'll forward that on to Fran, and if she can incorporate it, we can
Looks
flip
good.
that, or flip versions, and
Great.
in particular, it's the lower meadow, or the open meadow area. It looks like they have in fact mowed the trail a little bit further south than it used to be.
And I was just gonna say that, this is a new revision of the map to include the orchard in the furthest southern port, it's not south, but at the
Right.
bottom of the panel.
Yep.
So that's the entrance on Mylott Street. And then before you walk down the hill to the Little League field from there, if you bang a left, that goes across the meadow and into the woods. Again, paralleling Mylott Street.
Yep.
But somewhere,
Well, it's actually perpendicular to it there, but still,
yeah,
you're
Is-
in the woods and then,
so maybe right where was that, say, .33 on the left-hand side?
I think the trail
this
doesn't,
is fine here. It's
Yeah.
this that now cuts maybe a little
way,
closer.
it does.
Toward the house here.
It kinda, when you come out of the woods, it kinda goes up to the Wisley parking lot.
It's actually over here. That's
Okay.
one adjustment I made
All right,
later.
so if we're gonna, I think we should define where the parking is,
Yeah,
maybe.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
But I
that's
think that
good.
when that comes out, that trail kinda goes, they kinda cut like a straight shot from coming out of the woods right up to the parking area.
Yep. It
It,
gets,
it doesn't do this, I don't,
Yeah.
that's what,
yeah,
but
The
this,
reason
I'm
I
glad
did
you
some
did
mowing-
this, cause this is all inside there,
Yeah.
on that big map, you can't really
Yeah.
tell
Exactly.
exactly, and then if there's the bridge is down here someplace, the little
To the
singing bridge.
left, near where the
Right here.
trails.
The
Yeah.
singing bridge is right in here,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll mark that at a later time.
that's
There's a
great.
couple culvert, I don't know, crossings that you better consider those as crossings rather than bridges, but.
Yeah. no, that's great.
That's,
So these are gonna be, Joe, these are gonna be they're on the webpage, but these aren't, we're not producing these for handouts, are we? I mean, not at this time, correct?
Well,
I
so
don't
that's, when we talk about NOAA Day tonight, that's,
All right, I'm ahead.
we did,
Excuse me.
we did wanna have a small number of these available to
Oh.
hand out, but we wanna try to drive people to the webpage. Not only is it the right thing to do, save some trees, but where these are, as Craig is indicating, these are, they're not quite early draft versions, but they're likely to change as we progress. So we want people to go to the webpage
So they're good.
and get the latest and greatest.
Those are nice.
The other thing with Ending, especially just tying it in with a couple of projects, we talked about the Boy Scout project to be able to,
mhm.
Noah Kearns has already driven posts into the ground in various points along the way. So we're gonna install on those points some identification as far as where on the trail those are.
Yeah.
And then we can incorporate, once we've figured out a numbering or some kind of sequence,
Yep.
we can install those on the map
I
as
think we
well.
play off, going back to what I did, I kinda stopped after we found out that Noah was doing the posts. I think we play off of what he's done. Once he's got his go out, we'll go out and we'll say, okay, here's, on the map, here's where one post is. Where do we need another one that, for the trails,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll play off of his posts. We don't wanna make it like, Westwood
Flourish.
Center where there's, lights everywhere all the way down the street.
Yep, heaven forbid. So these four, thank you, these four are up. To the point of the parking and some of the icons that are on there, he's got, Craig's got some indicators as far as parking, trailhead. Now, the good news is that these are up, but the bad news or the challenge for us is that these are up.
Yep.
So we have to kind of step up to the plate here, and we have to work next on actually putting trailheads and getting some kiosks in place and some indicators that are gonna help some of the users we hope will go out onto the trails. If you build it, they will come, but we have to be fair and equitable and do the right thing. We need the all-important dog poop bags, of course,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
every trailhead should have.
Mhm. And a place to put the residue.
Yes, yep. The before and after pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so these are really, came out really good, so, yes.
Nice
The
job.
other thing is, we wanna consider how we're gonna indicate handicapped accessible best routes, probably like on this route.
Well,
You know,
again, we
the
gotta
close-
figure out what
Which
that
way?
entails too,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
So that-
absolutely.
That would be a next level that we would wanna incur, possibly,
Well, it could be a different map too.
could be, yeah.
Yeah, so we also, so last week, Craig, Fran, Pat DeShanes, Steve Washburn from the Concom, and I met as a subcommittee. And we did talk about some of those what's next type things. Building a new map for ADA for accessibility. Maybe down the road a little bit, building a map that's user-friendly to the senior center, for instance.
Yeah, good ideas.
Also to get to the next level of making these maps accessible from a visually impaired standpoint and making them ADA, ADA accessible, not only the trails, but also the maps themselves. So that's kind of next on the list. The next physical location we talked about was Winter Street from Father Max to the Willett, past the Winter Street
Yep.
area. So that would be the next
I have
logical place.
that plotted with, drafted out. I haven't approved it like the others, but yeah, it's a good beginning.
Oh, great. So these are great, thank you. We did, one of our proofreaders looked at the Ellis especially. We had
Oh, yeah.
we have to update the map that's up there for the Ellis Pond.
Mhm.
But other than that, these four are up and available and ready for action, so.
Okay.
The other, while we're on, well, anyway, so anything else on maps?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. So we've got 4 of these in place. They're accessible currently they're available, I should say, right now on the town website. Go to norwoodma.gov, go to the committees, boards and committees, and then go to the Trails Advisory Committee, and they're under documents. We did, we've got a current discussion. There's a trail map page, and there's a document page. Because these brochures are double-sided and they're a tweener, they've got one foot on either side of those two menu items.
Mhm.
So we're just trying to figure out how best to deliver them. Currently, under the trail map page is the town-wide map, which this time last year when we went to Norwood Day, we physically had this, and we'll do that again. Pat is gonna blow that up and make it available for Norwood Day. But this time last year, people were going to our booth and actually taking a picture of that map. So now, talk about, us lagging the tech
Sure.
experts. But they can now access this, and we'll just continue to develop this map.
Suggestion is that Norwood Day, we display very prominently the path to these maps.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And
Good idea.
if we have something to give out, it should be like a business card size thing for trail maps, go to blup, and there will be. So very small and low cost.
We can just have it on a sign and they take a picture of it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
sure.
I know sometimes people want something in hand,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they both work,
We do have some business cards. We can take a look at those and see
yeah.
if we can use those or not.
You can say Norwood Trails on one side and then the URL on the other side.
Good idea. What else? So while we're on the town web page, so we have, so on the landing page, we've got agendas. All the agendas for the current year are up there, but Sandy Moore has all the archived agendas. So those will eventually land here as well as the minutes. We have under the document page, so those are some of the agendas and minutes. Under the document page, one of the other things that's already posted, and Sandy does have more detail. In addition to the 4 brochures, there's also the double-sided page that we distributed at May's town meeting. Takes a bit to load.
I don't know, maybe I lost my connection.
So there is an update that basically brings us through our first year of existence. But we'll try to put other updates on that under the documents page. We've also, I think all of us have contributed some links to various outside organizations. So Sandy has a page, at least a page worth of links that we want to also incorporate here. Friends of the Blue Hills, Walpole Trails, Dedham Trails, other local organizations, Moose Hill, Trustees of the Reservation, various other groups. We also want to, we talked about this at our last meeting, we also want to build photo albums for each of the sites, right? So of course, we're all going through our thousands of photos that we've taken. And if Craig were to reach into his pocket and pull out a thumb drive, that would be his body of work.
No, it's a sample.
Sample, okay, thank you. So this is,
The other document
this was the town meeting?
in the report.
So this annual report we distributed at town meeting in May. And that's on that documents page. So we'll take that sample,
Be the first to
And
see
that- that'll be the first, and what we were, the process we were trying to follow is that if somebody comes to this documents page, and this is still kind of ground under repair, but it's in development, but if somebody comes to the page for the Ellis, then they could leaf off the Ellis page and go to the map and brochure as one document, but then also go into a photo album that's specific photos for the Ellis. And then we'd have a different page, just so we can kind of define different locations in
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
the representation of each. The other thing that Sandy said, if you scroll up to the top if you could, so every page on the town the website, but every page has they call it the banner across the top there. See where obviously the bean counters have taken over because you got a calculator and a,
That's actually.
Yeah,
correct.
we need another.
huh?
That was accounting.
That's what I mean, the bean counters, that's what we refer to ourselves as. But that page will be replaced by some trail-specific banner. So we'll try to make this as
At least something green.
targeted, something green. Well, the numbers are black, so that, yeah, green dollars.
That's not red.
Yeah,
Now, if we wanted to submit photos to be included, would we send them to you, or would we send them to someone else? Would we send
Not
them to
me,
Joe?
I don't have access.
yep,
Is this
so,
for, is this for Norwood or for future?
Anything.
so as far as the web page is concerned, what I've requested, IT to set Patrick basically to set us up with what they call a QNAP. I forget what that stands for, but it's basically it's a folder that we can all have access to, and we
Okay.
could upload things directly. We wouldn't have to put them on a thumb drive. So we all have access to it. It's limited as far as who has access to it, but it's a good way to get things off your desktop, for instance.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or downloadable from a camera onto the QNAP. We're trying to make sure it's not just you've already taken it through your own filter.
Yeah,
So if
exactly.
you can come up with your best shots.
Well, I was
literally.
thinking when it's set up like that, if they had albums for each area,
Yeah,
that
we
would
can-
simplify the management significantly, and then somebody can edit it if need be.
So we will try to have those things. Pat and IT, Sandy and IT are working on that.
So is Sandy the one who should receive them?
So why don't you hang on to them for the time
Okay.
being, and because you can deliver them once we all have access to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll all get actually I'll take.
Oh, you take that?
I'll take that one.
Okay.
That way we can get those rolling onto the webpage. And then as soon as that other folder is available, we'll do that.
This is Q&A.
These are
Yep.
reduced to about 1,500 on the long side, then 1,500 pixels.
Okay, all right.
you know, a little bit bigger than what most normal web pieces. I figured you didn't want the full size picture,
there
but I
is-
could always supply that as well.
Yep,
But,
there is
uh,
some restriction, especially in the banner
Yeah,
at that top section.
Yeah.
It's gotta be landscape and it has to be X by Y. I forget what the measurements are. but-
okay. Yeah, let us know what those limits
Yep,
are too.
Okay, all right, well, but Sue's got up on the screen here, within the town, management system, the town system that they use, there are all these shared folders.
yeah.
So we don't have ours yet here, but like the Community Preservation Committee, for instance, has a QNAP folder that the members of the committee have access to, and we can upload our own into a shared folder, and in that way, we all have access to it. So it's restricted to the people that are invited to have access to it. So, more on that soon. I think that's it, if you go back to the website, if you could. I think that's it so far. We've got links, photos, maps. If you go back to the town, the general town page, the town home page. So,
This one?
so when somebody first goes to norwoodma.gov, in the bottom, can't see that far, I need new glasses, but somewhere in his, there's a maps folder.
Good shot. Is it yours? Good job.
On the main
Six,
page,
7
the
years
maps
ago.
folder?
Go back up to the top a second.
There's documents.
Nope. Or maybe it's under, go to agendas and minutes. I think it's at the, maybe it's documents. But scroll down here,
Here's maps,
keep going, yep. Documents.
but not there. Yeah.
Maps.
Maps.
Yep,
But
So-
that's just the
So we got
one.
trails map
yep.
townwide.
So this is on the town, like the general town webpage. It's not the easiest thing to get to, but that will continue to evolve. So right now, the only map that's accessible through here is the town, the town-wide map. And that's because that's a map, that's solely a map. What we're talking to Sandy about is duplicating the brochures, calling one a map and the other one a
Yeah,
document.
because somebody goes on and says, I'm looking for the map for Endine.
Right.
I went to your maps and it's not there, they don't know to, you know.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't think to go to brochures,
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe we could say something like brochures with maps,
or just,
so that
Yeah.
it's a little bit more explicit.
So so far it's clunky, but we're trying to figure that out. And if Ernie says it's clunky and he's a tech expert, then,
that's right. Well, I wouldn't know where to go,
Yeah.
and, you know, brochure, I'd be looking for maps, you would think it would be under a map.
great, so this webpage went live last week and the
Good.
4 brochures are up there and
Excellent.
it's all
Very
planned
nice.
together.
Good.
Very good.
So that's where we wanna drive people when we get to Norwood Day. What day is Norwood Day?
Norwood Day is Saturday, September 7th. Starts at officially 9:30 with a parade, but we'll be set up long before that. Goes to about 3 o'clock. Lots of good activities down there. Come down, one and all.
You wanna give us your
So,
update?
we've, basically, we've got, many things that are on the list for, different, either handouts or information, like we just reviewed with the maps, put possible business cards, some other items. We gotta come down and see what we have without, telling all the secrets. We'll have, also, we talked about the tent. I think we're sorted that out. We're going to initially be getting we'll be getting through the COMCOM their tent at some point, hopefully, and we have a backup plan.
We have a backup plan.
Thank you, Marguerite. If that doesn't pan out, but I'm sure it will. And Vic, who's not here today, has agreed to help with the drive-in setup aspect of it, so we can get all our goodies there to help set up, and we'll need probably one or two extra people who might be around during the setup point to
I'll
help
be there.
I can
pop
be
up
there.
the tent.
Oh, set up.
I can
I'll
help
be
with the
there.
setup.
I'll be
I
there.
didn't know you were, I thought you said you weren't gonna be.
I didn't think I was going to, but the other project
Okay.
doesn't start until afternoon, so I can
Well,
help
that,
you in the
well,
morning.
that would be good.
I get
So-
out of work, so I'll be there all day too.
Oh,
I can
good.
self set
So
up, take
we're,
down.
we're in good shape, I think, for.
And I also
our-
have a tent too.
He's
I
got
got
a
a pop up if we need, if,
Will it fit inside the other tent?
The tent in the tent?
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
intense
so, yeah.
speculation.
so, I mean,
Oh.
if the other one falls through or whatever,
Okay.
we got two
So we
backup
got two
plans.
back.
All right, great.
That's
Right.
good.
Go with Ernie's, it's
Do
probably
you,
bigger.
do you have a tent too?
No, well, I have a little one, but no.
Yeah.
I have a,
Up tent.
I have a
Okay.
4-person tent, and you have.
I have a one-person tent,
Yeah.
so we
There
could
you
do
go.
like
I got
the
a 2
old
of 4,
Russian
a 6.
nested doll.
I got
That's
2
right.
of 4 and a 10.
I've got a 6 as well, yeah. But
We'll
that,
have,
that, that
be
wouldn't
very
work for this.
intense in this.
Very
yeah,
intense.
yeah.
You want to start a tent
Um,
city?
Yeah.
There you go.
What time do you want us there to, for the help with the setup?
So,
I think they let you in about 8.
The 7:30, the 7:30, the drive-through is open.
so 7:32.
7:32, okay.
And where is the booth?
30.
The booth is going to be,
Whoops, sorry about that.
and so each table has a letter and a number, and our booth letter number is C19, and I believe it's on the western side or the uphill side, probably near Cottage and
Okay.
Washington,
Yeah.
Yes.
down that area, similarly like it was last year. And we'll be also next to Progress Norwood. I'm not sure if they are on the right or the left though, so I don't know their number.
So if Sue were to put the map of downtown Norwood up on the screen like that, we would see that it's roughly, it's in the block where Limey's, you know,
Oh, all right.
between,
Right on,
it's
Yeah,
two,
right in the,
good spot.
two
yeah.
booths up from Cottage,
Okay.
in front of, I don't know if Giorgio's, I think Giorgio's is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Um,
yeah, it's,
So it's great, it's the same booth we had, same space we had last year.
so, it's great that you can start us off because, I think other people
Yeah.
are coming in after that too, so. What else?
So we've got handouts, so we talked about
Oh,
having the,
yeah.
go ahead.
The
Go for it.
handouts
Yep.
for the maps, we talked about printing up a limited supply of those. We have the 4 different maps. What would be a good number? Say somewhere around a couple hundred of the Alice and maybe 100 each of the other 3.
You mean Endine?
I mean, of the Endine, that's great.
Yeah, I would say double Endine, because that's a little more involved place.
Right,
Will it be the map or the brochure?
well, the brochure.
Okay.
I don't think we're planning to hand out townwide maps.
So we,
Are we?
depending on the outcome of this, we could do like 150 of the double-sided for the Endine, your brochure, the doubles,
Yeah.
that one, wherever that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Yep, and then we
Yep.
could do whatever, 75 or however many we wanted to do of the other 3.
well, I was just thinking 500 in a ream of paper. We wanna make a combination.
Sure. Yeah, we could-
And did you want some town-wide maps?
not
Or
really,
this
because
just-
we'd have a
No.
poster, or maybe even 2.
Hmm.
But again, we want to drive people to the webpage
Yeah.
because we want
Yeah.
them to
Now we
get
have
into
one.
that serve yourself kind of thing. So, yeah, we could do
So well, why don't you let me work with Paul DeShane?
Pat
DeShane,
Shane's,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
and
okay,
get
And
that
he's-
and within the next couple of days.
okay,
Get that in order up to no more than 500 total.
sure, great.
Can we get somebody to print the business cards?
Yep, so what I'll do when I get home, I didn't bring one with me, but when I get home, I'll email both sides of the business card, just so you can see what's on there now.
Good.
I think the downside of the business card is it might say, find us on Facebook, but
Yep.
since we're not on Facebook,
They won't find us.
Yeah,
you
Well,
won't
then-
Find it, yeah.
Right.
we're not on Facebook yet.
No, I mean business cards that give the URL
Yep,
of
so I
the
think,
site.
so I think that's already on there. I think it has
Is it?
the
Okay,
the
good.
email address and the website, but I'll
Okay.
verify that. If not, we can get those printed as well. And that's all, so,
And I need to grab all your supplies, including the signs, at some point
yep,
next
so
week.
we'll gladly get that to you this weekend or whenever we can arrange that. So just hold off until that one change on the Ellis Pond is
Okay,
Yeah.
corrected,
there's a couple.
as far as the map, so.
So should I talk to you about specific latest revisions before we send it to the printer?
I would, when do you need to go to the printer?
Pat said it'd take 3 to 4 days at the
Yeah.
most.
3 to 4 days,
Yeah,
so,
so by the end of the week,
yeah, oh, yeah. That's easy enough.
okay.
And three of the 4 are ready now, but it doesn't make sense to,
No, I think
Well,
we should.
I mean,
split it up in
like I
order.
said, one other one could use a tweak,
Yeah.
but, they're all pretty good. Ellis, I know 1 or 2 things that could be changed. Yep.
so that's,
So is by the end of
Wanna go back to
Thursday,
that?
fair enough?
Yep.
Okay.
so that's the Sue's map of downtown Norwood for the Norwood Day. So we're basically,
What does Morse code have to do with the map, other than the name Morse?
It's for the scavenger hunt. This is for
Oh.
something else.
Okay.
That's right.
so Sue's coordinating a scavenger hunt on Norwood Day.
Got it.
She refuses to tell anybody any of the details. So we don't know if the Trails booth is part of the scavenger hunt. or
Got
not.
it.
So are we supposed to guess where the Trails booth
Stay
is
tuned.
tonight?
They're like over here.
No,
No.
down by Cottage.
Oh, here?
Yeah,
Yeah, down there.
with the second booth in from Cottage. On the north side, on the top side of Washington Street.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's great.
So yeah, I think we're in good shape.
Great, Norwood Day goes all day, it's, what date is it again? What date?
Well, it's September 7th, rain or shine.
Rain, it won't rain.
I know it, but
But in
Okay.
case it does.
September
As
7th,
once.
the day that will live in infamy.
and
if
this
it
is what,
does.
the 15th year or something?
Something like
I
that.
think it's the 17th? Yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
actually.
We only had 2 rainouts.
Oh, and Joe's got a Norwood button on
good
his
record.
pack.
I do have a button, but it doesn't have the number on it.
It's,
I don't think any of them do.
I don't
no,
think that
it has the date.
Yeah.
I think this is 14 maybe.
Okay.
I'm trying to think back to the first one, Joe.
Yeah.
Back the many
We've
years
had one
ago.
rain out.
Two.
I'm surprised they put that
We had the
on there.
the second year,
Was that the
We had-
hurricane?
Hurricane
Whatever.
Ivan,
Ivan,
yeah.
and that was a complete washout. And then one other year, we had a rain out, we had to move it to
To
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And we had and it was still good, but we couldn't start to noontime because of the churches.
Mm.
And we went noon to
Mm.
4 or something, and that was, and other than that, it's
Now-
been.
That's glass, yeah.
It's,
Knock on glass.
we've had,
Yeah.
we've had great,
So, for those who are listening, don't know about the buttons, if you buy them before Norwood Day, they are $3. $5 at Norwood Day if you want to wait. And they allow you to use the transportation to and from the parking lots.
Transportation, you can use,
And the pizza feed.
they're doing something a little bit
Little
different
bit
this year,
different?
but it's still, it's similar, it's not,
it's food.
it's
That's
food. The Norwood,
It's gonna be like the concert, the Parents Music Association.
the Norwood,
hot dogs.
Okay.
the Norwood PMA is coordinating food.
Sponsoring the food.
Rock climbing is available if you have a button. Pony rides, but they said no to me last year, but others maybe.
Big Daddy's Big Daddy's Racing.
Big Daddy's Racing.
The Home Depot Carpenters, I
Pet,
think, are
That was
usually
fun. The kids
there.
got a big kick out of
It's
that.
there's a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
So there'll be
And the
roughly-
Kitty rides.
And the kitty rides.
The
Yeah,
kitty
more
rides, yeah.
carnival.
That's important.
rides are good.
Kitty rides.
Thank God, I'm out of that.
And,
I've been in, Dan Burns and I were in charge of the kitty rides for
Right.
years.
And it's a
Trying to
good,
close
it's a
them
good
down.
way to support the event.
Yeah.
So
Buy your,
they'll,
buy your button.
weather dependent, there will be 10 to 12,000 people walking past the Norwood Trails Advisory Committee booth.
and for purposes of the media, where can you buy the buttons?
So the buttons are available at Norwood Town Hall, Norwood Library,
Civic.
Civic Center, Senior Center,
Norwood
Yeah.
Bank.
and Norwood Bank.
Yeah.
Norwood Town Hall, right? Yep.
And they will be also available at Norwood
Fireworks.
Day.
Fireworks.
At Norwood,
Fireworks.
that'll cost you more.
And there'll still be $3 fireworks.
Fireworks will still be $3,
Fireworks
Tony
tonight.
says he has a special 2 for $6.
2 for
You get 'em
$6.
here.
Nice. Such a deal.
Such a deal.
10 for 30. It's a good deal.
Are we still on Norwood Day?
Apparently we are. Yes.
Oh, okay, I do have a, just backtracking, because, so we'll have the trail map, Sue, the big trail map.
Yeah.
We'll have that. Do we need a new one? Can Pat make us a new one
That's going to predict a
on a poster?
Yep.
And so we're gonna need easels?
We have one and we're working on a second one.
Easel?
Yes.
I think the planning department's got all kinds of easels and they won't be
That's-
using
yeah.
them, so, they won't be using them that day, so we can grab them out of the planning office.
Great.
Should we also have a poster, that says, like a piece of poster board, I can, print it out, find us, and I can put the webpage and all that.
Yeah.
And then under that, upcoming events,
With the,
but the upcoming events were a little sketchy here, because we could say townwide, our community walk, tentatively September whatever, at 9:30.
well, I think we need to nail that down.
The Halloween walk, I mean, that was kind of talked about. If you tell people at Norwood Day, at the end of October,
Yeah.
check in, we're gonna have a Halloween walk at Endine, and especially if they have kids, it's a nice family event. We had about 30-something, 40 people last year, but it would be nice to get some, new faces, and if they know about it, I think ahead of time, they may.
And Progress Norwood is coordinating that as well.
Oh, okay.
For October, so we are, I don't think we have the date here, but we will have that event.
We'll have it.
And
The
do we
Halloween
need-
thing, I think we
in
said the
October.
27th,
Now, do we have, you said we had power, Lee?
20th.
We have,
October
we
20th.
have power available.
Do we want to do the small screen with pictures,
I think that's good.
just on a loop?
Jury's still out, but we could use, sure.
Do you want me to,
Could do that.
I have one of those, it's small, but it's fine, I can put it on a box off to the side, and it'd
Sure.
just be a loop, I can take the pictures and put them on the thing that I have takes a SDS card. So I can take those, throw them on my computer and transfer everything to SDS card, I think.
Okay, sure.
Unless there is somebody that's more computer savvy in the room.
I think you just volunteered. I think it's all
Okay.
you.
What I'll do is I'll do it, and if I can't do it, I'll know real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And then I can take what I've got. I actually stole a couple of yours, Joe. You've got some, I found some pictures of you with your trail shirt talking that I grabbed, and if anybody else has any pictures of stuff, we'll get them on it, and I'll just throw it on it. We'll just put it on an SDS card.
sure.
And it's a small screen, but
Sure.
it's in the side, and I can bring in. And how long an extension cord do you think, Lee? 25 feet long enough?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'll
I
throw
think-
I'll throw one of
I
those in
think
my
it's like-
car.
I think it splits between the Progress Norwood and
Yep.
Arbor.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll throw an extension cord in the car
Okay,
and
great.
whatever else, and you'll let me know if
Yeah.
through email or however, call me if you need me to bring the tent. I
Okay.
can throw it in the car, And then if we need it, we got it.
All right, great, thank you. And yeah, I will send you some more pictures
And then,
that
yeah.
aren't of me.
Some
Or do put them on one of those.
Yeah, yep,
And,
okay. All right, great.
some other pictures of other events like the cleanup days we've had.
I have some pictures from the cleanup day.
Good.
I put that. I've got some pictures of the conservation areas. The cleanup day, the ones that I took of, I got one of you and a couple of,
Yep.
Lee more members, Fran. I got more pictures of the committee members than
General public?
general
Right.
public,
Yeah.
and then some trails and. So you got a couple of pictures, you and the kayaking out there you can send me and.
I think that's a yes. Okay, perfect, that's great.
And I'll be able to, I'll know real quick if I can do this or not.
Okay.
And if I can't, then we still have a week to
Right.
go to Plan B.
Whatever, so is that all right if for me,
Yeah.
grabs that one? So whatever you put on there, try to follow that same logic of segregating it by location. So maybe if we could, that way we could do double duty on here, and maybe we can take some of these and just kind of
Yeah.
take some
You don't
from
need
each-
them all, sure.
from each one of the folders, from each one of the property folders, and then just create a Norwood Day, like a new folder, and then just copy pictures into that folder. That way you only have to go to the Norwood Day folder to play that.
Well, yeah, I have a Trails Committee
Yep,
folder.
yeah, perfect.
But you
Okay.
wanna separate them by
Area.
location?
By location is.
If I can figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, okay, if not, that's.
If not, I mean, people are just gonna
It's-
look
it's
at
just
them
gonna
and,
be random.
they're just gonna be
Yeah.
random and we'll,
Okay.
yeah, so we'll,
Okay,
And
then
somebody is
send
going
me
to
some
stand there
and-
and say, well, this one's Ellis and that one's
yeah,
Sandy
yeah,
and
that's
this one's.
right. No, this is the woods.
yep,
You can go for a walk.
the wood.
Speaking as the one who usually does that.
All right, so great, so we got trail mapping, trail marking is still in the works. Norwood Day, September, what was it again?
Saturday, September 7th?
Thank you. And the webpage is moving forward as well. Getting back to the agenda, future group trail walks, we've got September 15th. And whether Walpole can join us or not, that date seemed to make sense, so we're going. Whether or not, we just haven't figured out the time, but one way or the other, we will go.
The date was again?
I'm
17th?
sorry, I think it said something else, September 15th.
50th. Okay.
So I think I'm off. It's the weekend after, right?
That's right,
Yep.
Yes, after Norwood Day, yep.
which is on September 7th.
I think I'm off that one.
Except the 15th is a Sunday, right?
That's correct.
So also on our agenda is, this news just came in and more to follow, but future events. So we have been voluntold to participate with the rec department on their pumpkin float / fall fest weekend. Did you hear about this? So, on Sunday, October 13th at 6 p.m., 6 to 9 p.m. at the Hawes Pool, Hawes Pond, that area. They're going to have, join us for the first ever Norwood Pumpkin Float at Hawes Pool area. We will need families, local groups, and businesses to carve pumpkins so we can send them to flow. So basically, people, it's not too different from the releasing of the
Ducks.
ducks,
Yeah.
kind of, that same
in the
concept.
spring.
And lighted, I trust?
We will, and carefully lit, yep. No, the pumpkins, not,
Not the floaters.
yeah.
They're gonna send
Or maybe
pumpkin-
both, who
They're gonna
knows?
send pumpkins down the Haas Brook.
We will have a small campfire with s'more making and fall treats. We will also have music and more. Enjoy your night out in the fall crisp air. They're not gonna send them down the river, down the
They're
brook.
just gonna float it
They're
around
gonna
in
float
the
them on the
pool.
pool, the
On
pond.
the
pond.
pond.
The
on the-
pond.
Oh,
On the boys and the girls ponds,
Yeah.
right?
oh, that's cool.
Formerly known as. So that's
That's a Sunday.
a Sunday, October 13th, 6 to 9 p.m., and that's up on the rec department Facebook page.
Pumpkins float.
And they-
October
well,
what?
they're on a- They're on a pad. Yeah, there's
Oh,
somehow,
on
there's
pad.
a,
Oh,
there's a buoyant pad that the pumpkins rest on.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. It's the first ever.
First ever, there we go, this
And
we'll
then,
find out.
and then the second
Shall
thing,
we bring our hip boots?
you can bring whatever you'd like.
Better bring a long neck.
You just can't be late.
Mhm.
October what again?
That's the
13th.
13th, and then
13th.
Sunday, October 20th, which is the next following Sunday, is that joint effort between Norwood Trails and Progress Norwood. So, and there will be some kind of themed, can't remember if that's on here. Halloween, it's advertised.
Halloween hike.
Yep, Halloween hike at Endine with Progress Norwood, and more details to
No,
follow. but-
wait, that's the same day as the Halloween hike. Oh, it's the same one, okay, with Progress North, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
It's
that's
okay.
the 20th?
That's October 20th.
So going back, Joe, to the 13th event with the rec department, what was the participation that the rec department expected us?
I'm not sure, we're gonna be there to help,
Okay,
more to follow.
Okay.
You know how we love to volunteer for things.
Yeah.
great.
And so far, there are 37 people interested.
Wow.
On the town Facebook page.
That's early.
I don't have, other than us taking a walk every month, I don't have anything else on the agenda. Do you, Sue Butler? No? Do you wanna go around with a member's minute if you would? Nothing, okay. Greg?
To follow up on what my announcement was last week, we had a great time stargazing. We had lots of people, both as astronomers with telescopes and the general public. The two great planets, Jupiter and Saturn, were center stage, and lots of oohs and ahs when people saw through the telescope, sometimes for the first time. And that's the whole point of it, is to really get people really engaged and understand that really astronomy is not pie in the sky. It really is accessible, and you can see the planets directly. Yes,
And-
with
There's a
aids.
pie constellation, that would be pie in the sky, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be.
And who hosted this? Where was it?
Is at Moose Hill Wildlife Sanctuary, with assistance from an astronomy club.
Okay, great. And Craig doesn't know it or not, but, or he doesn't know it yet, but he will be volunteering to chair the night,
The Star
Norwood
Night.
Trails Star
Okay.
Night, yep.
Can't
Maybe a little
conflict with
bit-
the other one.
Of course not. Right, that might be a good one.
Good.
I was in Vermont over the weekend, and you could actually see
Ooh.
Oh,
the
must
Dipper and the
be beautiful.
Summer Triangle and all kinds
Orion
of stuff.
coming
Ryan,
up.
The
yep.
actual Milky Way too.
Lot,
eh?
lot
Yeah.
of good fall constellations.
It's amazing what you can see when there's no light pollution.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ernie, you got anything to chime in on?
Nope,
Big
just,
enough.
I'll get the events thing, if you could just email me I didn't take notes, schedule of events, I can do a poster or something, and I'll put the website on there, and just, we'll need an easel for that, an easel for the thing, and then I think these map things are a great idea, and like I said, let me know, send me some pictures, I'll let you know if I can do it, can't do it, we'll go to Plan B, and whatever you need for Norwood Day, I'm around all day, so.
Perfect.
you know.
Great, thank you, Ernie.
Looks good.
We do have T-shirts, both for those of us who don't have T-shirts committee-wise, but we also have, we haven't quite figured out a giveaway yet, but it's more to follow on that.
Good.
Oh,
Marguerite,
yeah.
Just give me a
Sign
small
up
sheet.
sheet.
Just get me a small.
to get you two smalls,
Make sure you have a
yes.
sign-up sheet for Norwood Day.
Oh, yes,
I
yes,
do.
people
I
say
already do.
emails and.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I already have that.
So we will, once this is all together and we've tentatively said next week, we will send out a newsletter announcement by email to the 250 or so people who have given us
Good.
their email addresses. But the sign-up sheet would be, keep me posted on upcoming events, and
Yep.
dear public, thanks for coming. So,
Mhm.
okay, good idea.
Good. I don't have anything else, Dan.
Okay, good. Thank you for coming. Lee?
Yes, I have basically a general service announcement. Just for all those enthusiasts for hiking trails and walking trails in Norwood in general, we're coming into the fall season, and it's a beautiful time to get out there and walk. Just if you can, any time of the day now, it's not too hot coming into that season. the bugs are subsided, and just to encourage everybody to get out and enjoy the outdoors. That's my members' minute. Thank you.
Good,
We should,
I'll second that. I
yeah.
was at Blue
likewise.
Hill last weekend and the actually was cool enough, the visibility was near perfect.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a trail. I was on Boston Harbor last weekend and we saw seals
Yes.
out around
Another
Graves Lake.
way to get outside.
Yeah.
likewise, I don't have anything to offer other than, again, to say thank you for all your hard work.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
So just from our own standpoint, we've got, today's August 27th, we've got NOAA Day. We actually posted NOAA Day as a committee meeting because we'll have a quorum. Our next meeting after that will be Tuesday, September 10th. We'll keep this, unless somebody has different ideas, this Tuesday, every other Tuesday thing, so it seems to work, the second and fourth Tuesday of every month.
24th.
Yep, 10 to 10, right, so it's September 10th and September 24th in September. We've heard of October 13th as one event and October 20th as another event, and then we'll just keep filling in the calendar as we progress. I mentioned Steve Washburn, I should have said this, but Steve Washburn from the Conservation Commission is very interested. Not only is he gonna help us at the NOAA Day booth, but he's very interested in finding ways for the committees to work together and open up new areas and open up visibility for the community, so I think that's good. No way to go but up, so. Other than that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, second? Made and seconded, so all those in favor, all those opposed? Unanimous, thank you one and all, appreciate
Thank
your
you.
participation and contribution.